Shivoham. Chalo. Let us proceed to next sutra. Okay. Before we proceed to next sutra, let us understand about Ritambhara and its maturity. Because Ritambhara also matures. Ritambhara Tattva, which is Vaisharadhya, as I told. Vaisharadhya, its mastery of full control on mind. Total cessation of all vrittis at will, any moment. Then only that Vaisharadhya can be accomplished. And of course, it is a process. And therefore, if there is something to be achieved through an ongoing process, the development of that faculty will also be ongoing. You can't say that it will happen just like, of course, something new will come. Some new phenomenon will come. This Ritambhara will be available. This Ritambhara, which we are talking about, when mastery happens, that is called Ritambhara. But Prajna gets activated as soon as you stop trusting the sensory perceptions. Not so that you will not take help of them. You will, but only in the material world. And you will also continue to investigate whatever is being presented in the new light of whatever Shabda Pramana or Anumana Pramana you are developing. Because Shastras say that this world is made up of 5 elements. Do we really come in contact with these 5 elements ever? We don't. When the scriptures declare that there is this Purusha Vishesh, Ishvara, do we have any experience of that? Further, they are talking about Purusha, experience of self, and much before that, the gunas, the material cause of this world, 3 gunas, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. Do we have any experience of that? So we don't have any direct experience of these things. Only thing is that we have to get this knowledge through the words of masters and then apply our own imagination or process of contemplation to arrive at any other result or deeper understanding of whatever it is. That means Shabda Praman is something like whatever food is offered to you, you directly assimilate it like glucose. But Anuman is chewing the pulp around whatever has been offered and then digesting it over. The contemplation, manan, you do that, and by that what happens? You derive certain subtler and deeper meaning and kind of create enhanced understanding of the subject. That is what is the way of experiencing the world and gaining knowledge through our interaction with this world. But all these steps involve engagement of the sensory organs. Without that, it is not possible. So, this is the knowledge that is contained in words. And such knowledge is not responsible for liberating us. Such knowledge is not responsible for putting us out of the orbit of this Janam, Marana and Prakriti. Such knowledge can only help as some guiding principle to operate in a better way, in more efficient way in this world. Nothing more than that. So we know how to navigate through this world, which poses so many challenges, which presents different situations, etc., etc. So the knowledge received in words through elders, through teachers, through scriptures, through other sources, authentic sources, helps us in taking certain kind of action in this world. It doesn't lead to direct experience of anything. Direct experience will be the subject matter of another kind of wisdom, another kind of capacity which we have. That is called prajna. Okay. There is a difference between buddhi and prajna. Okay. So by operating in this world, gathering the knowledge through the words, gathering knowledge through your sense organs, gathering knowledge through your mind, also enriches us. Where it is functioning, at the end of where it is getting stored, what is changing in us through that, it's ripening or developing or enhancing or stabilizing our buddhi. Buddhi is needed to operate in this world. And all buddhi is dependent on the words that we speak, along with whatever experience we have through our sensory organs, which is our direct perception. We think it is direct perception, but so many things come, so many layers of obstacles are between this knowledge that world is, or the experience that world is, and we, the real perceiver of it. Who is the real perceiver? If mind is just the tool, intellect is just the tool, then who is the real perceiver? The real perceiver is this self, this Atman or Purusha. And everything else is an instrument in the hands of or at the disposal of Purusha. So when we say we know this world, how many things we are dependent on? First, we need to be presented a situation. It should be an open experience for it to not be concealed or obstructed experience. For example, if I keep certain object behind a wall and I ask you to look at it, experience it, you will not be able to. Though the object exists, it is well within the world, but it is not coming in your experience because it is not revealed. It is covered. It is obstructed. So many a time such obstructions come in our direct perception and experience of this world. First limitation. And such limitations might exist and do exist in the outer world itself. They have nothing to do with us. No incapacities. At the level of our sensory organs, our intent, our orientation, or the state of our sense organs. So for you to know anything in this world, you are dependent on first the presentation of that situation, object, or entity in front of you. It should be presented. So first limitation. So in this situation, if the object is not revealed, it is covered, it is concealed, then we will not have an experience. But does the object exist in the experience field of experience? You'll say, no. But does it exist in the world? Yes, it does. You don't know anything about it. So Here you are having a problem. First obstruction. Second obstruction is at the level of our sensory organ. Our sensory organs can also come in the way of experience. Suppose I have a number of reading and I want to read. I'll not be able to read it properly. Suppose I'm hard of hearing. If I want to hear a conversation, something, I'll not be able to hear. So I'll not be able to see, I'll not be able to hear, I'll not be able to touch if our organs are not functioning properly. If my organs, my sensory organs are not performing to their capacities, that is also a problem. Even when they perform to the optimal capacity or the maximum capacity, let's say, even then there is a limitation. What is the limitation? Limitation of the band in which these sensory organs function. For example, light is the subject matter of eyes. Light is electromagnetic wave. However, every electromagnetic wave we can term as light. No. We are able to term that much band of electromagnetic wave as light which can be perceived by eyes. So the phenomenon we are observing is electromagnetic waves, not in totality. So that means if suppose we were capable of observing and perceiving every electromagnetic wave that is traveling and coming in the vision field of our eyes, we would not listen to the songs of FM radio. We will be seeing them traveling in front of our eyes. Because those are also electromagnetic waves. So therefore, are we observing this electromagnetic field through eyes in a perfect revealed way? No. Still some part remains concealed because of the limitation of eyes, because of the limitation of sense organs. Another example, just to re-emphasize, a mosquito comes and sits on your skin, you don't perceive it. But when it actually starts sucking your blood, and because of the toxins it creates or releases in your body, something like that, then you start itching, you scratching then only you take some action on it. So are you really able to sense any touch which is well below the threshold of the organ that is skin? Not possible. Even if something very drastic happens, which is kind of beyond the capacity of organ, even then you don't sense it. I'll tell you how. Many a times people go through some accidents in which their limbs are severed. But at that point in time, they don't feel any pain because it happens so suddenly and it is in a kind of such is the trauma or such is the intensity of that pain that it is beyond the limitation of the skin and associated sense organs, which carry the signal to the mind. They don't feel it. Later on, when the pain, that particular section or that particular band of pain is experienced as much as is perceivable well within the limits of that sense organ. That also happens. It is same with every organ. When I say light, the highest light that we say is violet, the highest frequency that we can see. So whatever we can't see, we say ultraviolet, right? The lowest we can see is red. Whatever we can't see, say infrared. In the same way, whatever we can say touch. Whatever is the sensation which is on the higher side beyond the capacity of the sensation of touch, we should say ultra touch. And we lead that infra touch. You understand? In the sense of mosquitoes, it is infra-touch, you can't experience. In the case of severing your arms together in a moment, it's ultra-touch. You don't experience it. Same is true with the sound also. We say sonic sound, then we say ultrasonic sound, can't hear. Infrasonic sound, can't hear. Below 20 hertz, we can't hear. Above 20 kilohertz, we can't hear. We don't listen to everything. So how can we say that the world we are perceiving is exactly the same that is being presented to us? That means we are living in illusion, because only a band of it is being revealed to us through the sense organs. Even when it is functioning, everything that is given to us functions at its peak capacity. Okay, so no human will be able to hear or sense the experience of warmth or heat unless it goes beyond the limit, because your sensory capacities are limited. For examples, the snakes mostly they sense through infrared in the night. Their vision is infrared all the time. So even 1,000th degree change in temperature they can sense, but they sense it through their eyes. They actually look at the world through heat map, and therefore they are able to identify so many subtle movements which are happening around them, even when it is completely dark. What they are observing actually infrared, which is responsible for the heat in our case. So when we experience infrared, we experience it through our skin. Ultraviolet also through our skin. All your sunburn, etc. is because of that. So look at this world. The world that is being presented to us is not being perceived as it is. So you don't know how do I look. You don't know how do I speak. You don't know how do I smell. You can never touch me. Like that. And you have never been able to do so with anyone. You have never seen the whole person. You have never understood what the person is, what sounds he is producing. You'll never know what kind of notes and overnotes or tones and overtones of the fragrance that he's emitting. You don't know. As a dog, probably you would have, no. This is person X, I recognize. Because of the smell. And there are so many sensations which are not in the domain of our perception because of the reasons either being beyond the capacity of the sense organ or below the capacity of the sense organ. What is our perception of the world? We say we look at the whole world as it is. Sorry, we're looking only at a fraction of the world, experiencing only a fraction of world, as if there is whole expanse of this, and I am allowing you only to see through a long pipe hole that you are observing. You see, a large, huge painting, observing through only a tunnel. That much only we are experiencing, and we feel that we know this world. Who knows better than us? Now, these external organs are known as karana. Okay, karana. Okay, so wherever this karana fills or reaches its capacity on either side, we try to augment it. And that addendum which we use, add-on packs that we use, are known as upakarana. You understand? Karana, then upakarana. For example, you can't run beyond a particular speed. You will use upakarana. You will use a bicycle, maybe a motorcycle, maybe you will use a car, you may use even whatever possible. That is upakarana. You can't see beyond a range of, and then you can't perceive, then you'll use upakarana to assist this current of vision. It may be a microscope, it can be a telescope. Then you can't see beyond this range and this range, then you may use infrared camera. Again, everything is being converted in the band that we can perceive. Infrared is being presented to us as the heat map of red, blue, yellow, green, etc. That we can perceive. Infrared, anyways, we are not seeing any time. We think that infrared goggles are presenting us that view which is in infrared range. No, not, never. Our eyes are not meant to experience it. So what they will do, in fact, they will convert that infrared in corresponding visible range. Yes or no? Have you not seen in Discovery Channel or somewhere, wherever they show that this is your heat map? You say, this is quite bright and therefore it is heated. This is towards blue and therefore it is cold. It is red. This is moderately cold or moderately hot. This is green. This is kind of a medium temperature. This is how they create, right? So moving from white to orange and violet, again, in that range, they have to bring that infrared to be able to perceive. And we can do so only well within the range of the organ that we are living with. So the world we see is not the world that exists. Now, how do you know about, how do you further explore this world about which you are not aware completely? So your buddhi, your intellect is limited in this sense. Further, there are obstructions. The obstruction of our attention, the mind. A mind which is not fully engaged in a particular sensing, like mind is engaged in multiple processes. We might be thinking about something and listening to something, which means mind is already functioning on a subject and you are giving him some other job. The mind which is doing something internally should be, and probably mostly it is, of more interest than anything that is presented outside. You see, घर की बात है ना, अंदर की बात है. For mind, it is internal matter. So internal matters needs to be resolved first. External matters we'll see later. So mind never goes out with full intent, 100% intent, when you are already occupied with some internal matters. You see, what are our internal matters? Our stresses, our anxieties, our ambitions, our heartbreaks, our so many things, discomforts, our imagination, whatever. Mind is dealing with the internal matter. You want that mind which was engaged in or enjoying some internal matter, you want that mind to stand at a window which is called I. Stand there and receive something. He says, okay, I will do because you're asking, but half-heartedly. So you may see and may not see. Example. And this example we used to give when we used to train kids for sharp memory. We used to give this example that many a times as kids or as husbands, as wives, you were instructed, you say, salt kidhar hai? Where is the salt? It's not on dining table. Okay, go ahead. Someone in your family who is the boss, you already know who is the boss in the family. Tell that instructor, go, it is lying in the kitchen. The person will go, look around, all the shelf, and then he'll shout from there. I'm not finding it here. It's not here. I can't see that. And he really doesn't see. This experience may be yours also. And then suddenly, the in charge will come and hold you from the behind. Look, it is right in front of your eye. Don't you see it? Understood what it means? It simply means we look at things when mind wants to look at it. In the first place, you went to the kitchen or some place wherever you were instructed half-heartedly. Who was half-heartedly? Mind. Because mind was enjoying the food. Mind was enjoying the conversation which was there, happening there on the table. Or mind was enjoying the TV serial which was running just in front of you while you were having all your gulping or your dinner or lunch. So mind was not there. So mind did not want to leave that intent of watching something else, doing something else, engaging itself in some other imagination or enjoyment. And therefore, mind is not available. Even when you have your wide eye open, you can't find this much big object there standing in front of you. Understand what it means? There is a limitation of mind also. Intent, its availability. It's not available then. Even when the big box of chocolate lying there, you can't see a small pot with vegetables you can't find, the salt you don't find, pepper you don't find. These big objects you don't find. Only because mind is not available. So there is this limitation of mind also. Who knows how intent you are to look at this world and so closely? Are you really interested to look at this world? You are not. And therefore, you continue to look at this world and it is not registered. Is it not? So from morning till evening, suppose you were on the roads, so many things happen, right? So many people go by you. So many cars cross. So many things happen. But do you observe anything? Do you remember anything at the end of the day? No. Did it happen in front of you? It did. So many faces you come across. Do you remember anyone? You don't. Because you intently were not engaged in this world. You did not look at them intently. And wherever raga dvesha will come, you see how we operate, our mind operate. Wherever raga dvesha will come, immediately mind will have all its intent. Even when, if it starts with a colored dupatta, as I say, suddenly rag. And then you become aware, available, mind become attracted, rag, and now you can't forget that face. So this is how we look at it. Our world is like that. The limitation of mind, now comes the limitation of buddhi. Your buddhi may not be operating at the right capacity, may be dominated by rajas, tamas, alasya, nidra, knowingly not knowing. Unknowingly not knowing is okay, but we sometimes knowingly don't know. That is the play of our buddhi. How? Sharab pina swasthya ke liye हानिकारक है. Very nice. I know it. But when the bottle is presented, एक और बना दो थोड़ा सा. Knowingly not knowing. You understand? This is the state of our apparatus, which we all carry. With so many flaws, so many limitations, so many process-oriented issues also. Now look at it. With this world, we want to say that we are perfect in our way and we are operating in a perfect way in this world. Who told you? Your buddhi. The buddhi which knows शराब पीना स्वास्थ्य के लिए हानिकारक है एंड शाम को बैठता है दो डायबिटीज वाले को मालूम है शुगर इज नॉट गुड फॉर, खा रहा है. लो बीपी वाले को मालूम है कि फास्टिंग इज नॉट गुड बट कर रहा है ना. तो ये है हमारे माइंड का स्टेट. so much behind our vrittis. So we should take charge. We should take charge and we ought to do what is needed to be done. We should not become the slave of our vrittis. I'll tell you one example, and this is very recent example I came across. One of the person we are actually working with for correcting the mess that the team which was given this development work of our website. So we gave it to someone. Now this guy uh, got married, and then he had uh, two kids. And in the meantime, the wife's condition, some health issues cropped up. And it was only 5 years or 6 years of his marriage, or maybe seven. And this wife's condition was not improving. Now, this fellow, he was a frequent visitor of Vrindavan, Dham, Ma Ke Bihari, something like that, or some ashram, some Guruji's ashram. He is not initiated yet by that particular Guru, and therefore occasionally he also calls me Guruji or Acharya Ji, not my capacity. He's not being initiated. And that is how he has this freedom. So, but anyway, so he used to go, and he kind of developed a fear. I want to narrate this because many of you continue to suffer your own belief systems, which is very subtle, which is very deep, so embedded in the system that you can't get out of. And many times I've given this funny example, and it's not funny, when suppose in your puja room you have five deities, five Devi Devatas installed, and on a day when you were actually running for office and really short of time, then you want to actually complete your puja. And then what do you do? क्या करना है, कौन से देवता को लगाऊं, इसको लगा दिया, अच्छा, you go there, then I'll do short puja today, I'll only do short puja and come out. This short puja, you stand there after Gyan 1, Gyan 2, and then begin your puja, okay, and Dham Samarpayami. When it comes to Gandham Samarpayami, अभी इन देवता को लगा दिया, इनको तो लगाया नहीं तो बिजी होंगे, या तो फिर ये बिजी तो नहीं लग रहे, देख तो मेरी तरफ रहे, आंख मार के लगाना पड़ेगा, इनको भी लगा दो, फिर इन देवता को भी लगा दो, सारे देवताओं को लगाएंगे। अब पूजा में फिर उतना ही टाइम लगता है, एट द एंड यू कम आउट, हाँ ठीक है चलो, अब सब सब देवता संतुष्ट हो गए। नाउ लुक एट इट, in the first place, those were the idols lying in the shops. You made them Devata. They were not Devata there. They were the business article for that guy, a source of income or profit for him. You brought it, put it in your place, and you made them Devata. Now, after a while, you started connecting with them and putting all that chandan mala, whatever fool mala, you started doing agarbatti aarti. And then again, contrary to your knowing that there is only one divine force which takes every form, you know it. इतना बड़ा हमारा जो है सिद्धांत है, शिवो हम, तो ये तो सिद्धांत है, आई एम शिवा, फॉरगेट अबाउट इट, फॉरगेट अबाउट द वर्ल्ड, आई एम शिवा, and all my shaktis are just that reflection of the Shiva shaktis, and that is our philosophy that we study. And at the end, when it comes to देवी देवता, अरे नाराज हो जाएंगे, और फिर एक नहीं है, बहुत है, हनुमान जी को लगा दिया, स्कंद जी को छोड़ दिया, अभी तो प्रॉब्लम है, गणेश जी को कर दिया, पार्वती जी बगल में बैठी, अब इनका क्या करें, महालक्ष्मी को लगा दिया, महाकाली नाराज ना हो जाए, महाकाली को लगा दिया, महासरस्वती भी तो बैठी है बगल में, ठीक है, वाई? बिकॉज we are not taking decisions in proper way. Whatever is needed ought to be done. Whatever comes out only of our persuasive foolishness. नहीं, ये तो करना ही है, करो भाई, लेट हो जाओ मीटिंग के लिए, and we fully know that if we'll do it, we'll get late, and we prefer to get late rather than annoying any devata who was sitting on the altar looking at us. हाँ भाई, चंदन कब लगाओगे? As if, क्या हो गया भाई, आज तो संडे निकल गया, मंडे आया, व्रत क्यों नहीं किया, तुम्हारे पेट में खाना कैसे है भाई, इधर आ गए, भरे पेट कैसे आ गए, as if they are going to question. अरे it is my body, not Ganapati's body. Ganapati has a different kind of built up. He may be having something in the store because he already has a very, very big belly. Maybe he has many things stored there. We don't have. We feel hungry. Why will we not eat? And such things are driving our actions in this world. I have given you a very, very holy example. Holy. But such examples exist everywhere, in every field, in every domain that you are, whether it is cooking, bathing, walking, wearing shoes, going out of the house, interacting with people, shaking hands, what not. Your whole life is full of this mess. I should not have done that. I should not have. Whatever is supposed to be done should be done. That's it. This is real sadhana. कहूँ को नाम सुनूं, कहूँ को नाम कहूँ सो सिमरन, जो करूं सो पूजा. But that does not give us liberty to not do anything. That is also there. Because unless we discipline ourselves, that's not a possibility that you'll gain control. However, disciplining and torturing are two different matters. Disciplining yourself and doing something in good state where it is supposed to be done and makes you happy, healthy, wise. You see, someone who spent night in some project and that was really needed for him to save his job, comes back at 3 a.m. in the morning and it's a Saturday. Suppose next day he's tired and he just sleep beyond, let's say, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Somehow he gets 4 to 5 hours rest. On that day itself, you stand on his hand and say, early to bed, early to rise, makes man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Get up, otherwise you will be unhealthy. Can you do so? Live with the life as it demands. Whatever is our capacity, that is to be understood. The first job we forget always in all this, whatever we are doing, whether we are pursuing our goals in terms of finances, in terms of relationships, in terms of our spirituality, if we forget that ultimately we lose the sight of what is good for us, what will sustain us, what will keep ourselves healthy at the level of mind, emotion, and intellect, and also body, it's not going to serve. And all that happens because of our foolishness. First responsibility, of course, I'm deviating a little bit. First responsibility of ours as a sadhak is to protect our body, keep it fit and fine. Second, of course, is our emotional state and positivity and all that. But first is body, we can't ignore. So never ever try anything, don't go get into any misadventure because you are, especially for women, I'm telling, men are anyways atheist. The man accumulating 5 pounds per week and wife losing all that, donating it to the man. This is what is the state. Let's not get there. In every field of life, I just focus too much on one aspect of it. However, our prejudices, our vasanas, we need to be aware of. Torturing in the name of tapa is not allowed. You do tapa only within the limits. Only to discipline and purify yourself. What for? To please anyone? No. The only person to be pleased is this. Mudita. Be happy. And you can be happy if you check your buddhi and look at your prejudices, look at your biases, look at your vasanas, and then you will find that a better version of you is operating. All right. So let us consider all these limitations and then come to the fact that we feel as if our intellect is going to present the right picture of this world. Is it possible? Not possible at all. We are driven by our beliefs, we are driven by our vasanas, we are driven by our likes, dislikes, we are also driven by hatred and whatnot, everything. Further, it is limited by our attention, intent, then the organs' capacities, and further, the obstacles that the world itself poses. Are we really aware of the fact, the truth that is, at least other than us, what it is? Idam is also never clear, and it can never get clear unless until we develop that higher state of wisdom, that higher state of buddhi, which is known as prajna. Okay? When prajna develops, then we see at the world, look at the world, and we know exactly what it is. We know what our mind is. We know what our intellect is. We know what our chittam is. We know even what our senses are doing. Where are these senses? What are they doing? And we also know the characteristics and properties of the world as well. In this prajna, everything is revealed. But not in one go, as I said. Prajna develops over time because it's a process of development. As Vaisharajya is achieved, this Ritambhara is the truth-bearing prajna. Ritambhara means it is completely filled with the essence of truth. Truth of what? Truth of everything. Truth of, including the truth of self, who you are. Understand what it means? So initially when it starts to develop in nascent stages, we kind of develop some extrasensory perception, some capacities. These are terms as siddhis. And these siddhis can become an obstacle in our journey because then further development will stop. तो एक व्यक्ति एक बच्चे को 8 साल की उम्र में स्पॉट करता है कि अरे ये तो बहुत अच्छा जो है इसका बिल्ट है, इसको पहलवान बनाते हैं और उसकी वर्जिश शुरू करा देता है 8 साल की उम्र में, फुल फ्लेजेड, जितनी करनी चाहिए उससे भी ज्यादा, तो क्या होगा? वो बच्चे की ग्रोथ रुक जाएगी ना. The development of that child will stop. Yes or no? In the same way, when prajna starts developing, movement upward towards Ritambhara, as development starts happening, and we start utilizing the capacities of that prajna for our benefit or for anybody's benefit, it doesn't matter who. But you are overworking, you are dissipating that potency of prajna in the outer would make it stagnant. That is what siddhi is. You start utilizing the power of siddhi, prajna, whatever developments happen, starts dissipating there, and thus the opportunity is lost. And you are called in next life, if you at all, we get to this human life and suppose we even discover that we are capable of an inner journey, you will be, of course, reaching that stage very early because you have already experienced it. Yet, the term for you is Bhrashta Yogi. You are a yogi who kind of deviated from the path, couldn't complete it. So, Ritambhara Tatra Prajna is an important declaration, very, very important declaration from Patanjali. Ritambhara Tatra Prajna. He is not saying Atra Prajna. He says, and Tatra means there. There means something which is far. Is it not? There, when you use, it means somewhere away from you. Here, when you say something near to you. Tatra Prajna is a far thing. It's not yet achieved. What is the condition? That you work on Vaisharajya. The previous sutra, you keep on working, you will reach there. Ritambhara tatra prajna, not here. Don't think that you have just started controlling your mind vrittis and you have started kind of a controlled cessation of all the vrittis for limited duration, and you think that you have arrived there and you will be laden with truth-bearing prajna. It is not possible. Ritambhara tatra prajna. And that prajna is different than the intellect that we possess as of now. The way you are perceiving the world, a master will not, because he is moving in the direction of Ritambhara. And therefore, or he has already established himself in the Ritambhara, who knows? But at least for all practical purposes, when we study things, we are always warned about the pitfalls of and the development processes of everything that we need to cultivate or achieve in our path of sadhana. Yes or no? There also, Patanjali is directly indicated. Step by step by step by step, right from Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tannirodha, the first instruction, to this instruction of Vaishya. And we are not very far from the end of this first Shambhav Upaya of yoga. We are not very far off. Very few sutras left. I think it has 50 or 51 sutras. Okay. We are just arriving there. Now Patanjali has said, Tambara Tatra Pragya. Even now we have not arrived there. It is Tatra, not Atra. Okay. You understand? So even when you are attempting using the highest of the upayas, it is a long journey and laden with abhyasa. Abhyasa is the key. Vairagya is the environment. Okay? You say vairagya nahi aata. When you say vairagya nahi aata, I am not able to cultivate vairagya. ऐसे आता है क्या? क्यों भाई? नहीं आता. Exactly. वैराग्य ऐसे नहीं आता. Patanjali understands that आएगा नहीं. Then he gives three-stepped method. He says, now vairagya you have to achieve through control. मीठा पसंद है, छोड़ दो. खाना पसंद है, दिन भर खाते रहते हो भैंसे की तरह, छोड़ दो. नहीं खाते हो, जो चीज करते हो उसमें तप करो. दिन भर हा हू करते रहते हो, मत करो, शांति से बैठो. दिन भर रोते रहते हो, मुस्कुराओ. जो अच्छा लगता है, जो कर रहे हो उस पर वशीकार करो. दिन भर कटर कटर बोलते हो, चुप रहो. दिन भर चुप रहते हो, थोड़ा बोलो. यू अंडरस्टैंड? बहुत घुमक्कड़ हो, बैठ जाओ. बैठे रहते हो, घूमो. Whatever tendencies we have, whatever, we willfully take charge and say, no, not this, the other side we will move. And tapa, titiksha. And how it is to be done? For such people, titiksha or tapa is the method. वैराग्य ऐसे आएगा. कुछ दिनों तक बिना चीनी का खाओगे तो थोड़े दिनों बाद कोई पूछेगा, क्यों भाई वैराग्य हुआ कुछ? अरे बोले, अब क्या फर्क पड़ता है, जैसा भी मिल जाता है खा लेंगे. यही है वैराग्य. समझे? ठीक है, जिंदा है. And if it is done in complete recognition of its objectives, then you will say, yeah, I thought I will die without sugar, but I am alive. That's it. That recognition is needed. Once that recognition comes, फिर से खाओ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. But now you know, खाएं ना खाएं फर्क नहीं पड़ता. इसी तरीके से फूड, इसी तरीके से वाटर, इसी तरीके से अपना स्थान, इसी तरीके से वृत्तियां बोलने की, सुनने की, समझने की, है ना? डिसिप्लिन नहीं है, डिसिप्लिन में आओ. डिसिप्लिन में ज्यादा ही बंद करो, डिसिप्लिन तोड़ो. क्योंकि यू शुड नॉट हैव राग फॉर दैट ऑल्सो. वही राग, वो चंदन लगाया नहीं ठाकुर जी को लगा रहे बजरंग बली छूट गए, बजरंग बली छूट गए, काली माता रह गई, यही तो है प्रॉब्लम. सो इफ यू आर क्रिएटिंग सम सॉर्ट ऑफ डिसिप्लिन लाइक दिस, इसको भी छोड़ो. दिस इज व्हाट पतंजलि's वे ऑफ tapa. You understand what real tapa is? Real tapa is not the word tapa actually gives us a real feeling, as if we have to scorch ourselves sitting on, put some ghee on some hot plate and sit on that. Hmm? No, not that. This is not tap. Tap is whatever gives me discomfort, and I kind of, whatever is so much comforting for me as of now, I will, with control, experiment the absence of it. And with the absence of it, I'll look at my inner environment. Am I good? I'm doing good. If not, then I'll work again, work again, work again. Now I'm fine. I'm happy with food, without food, happy with salt, without salt, happy with sugar, without sugar, happy with movement, not movement. Then, abhi vairagya hua. This is the way of second section when we will discuss that. However, अभी तो केवल इतना है, वशीकार संज्ञा वैराग्य. Here also. But which vairagya? The vairagya which you already have. On that, you can pick it up whenever you like. This is called vashika. That way, vairagya is there. But we are not operating out of vairagya 24/7. This vairagya in the system of yoga is used only when a person is getting into samadhi, dhan, dhyana, pratyahara, etc. Because pratyahara cannot happen if you will not develop that kind of vairagya. Understand? Dharana will not happen. One thought cannot be persistently present itself as a stream, and the word uses like Pailadhara. Okay? Like a stream of oil. You see, water when we send, it starts breaking in the droplets. But oil when we drop, it's like smooth, never breaks. Have you seen? Have you observed that? When you pour oil, Tailadhar, it doesn't break. Put water, looks like as if it is broken from many places. The flow. So like that, a single thought consistently and persistently presenting itself as a flow in your mind space, that is what is dharana. And the dharana cannot be accomplished if you have raga dvesha for it, for anything. Because whatever is your raga, you will, that object mind will secretly bring it up. For example, you may, on your dining table, you may like something, in it, so much raga towards it, you have so much liking for it. So by hook or crook, or you try to find a reason to bring that object onto your plate. Secretly. You have always an agenda like that I will have this sweet for sure. So this is how we have been training ourselves, living our lives. And Patanjali says, no, some vairagya you should already have. Then only abhyasa vairagya can work. If you don't have, come to the next level. ठीक है भाई, this is not, ये तुम्हारे लिए ये कोर्स नहीं था. सेकेंड लेवल पे आ, तब वो बताएंगे, तब स्वाध्याय ईश्वर प्रणिधान. अब भगवान के भरोसे आ जाओ. यहां पर तो भगवान का भरोसा दे दिया उन्होंने, ईश्वर प्रणिधानाद्वा. You have seen, it has come as a secondary ancillary practice which ought to be done, but it's secondary tertiary practice. The primary practice, abhyasa vairagya. When that doesn't work, you say tap. Then swadhyay, study yourself, study scriptures, listen to the teachers, listen to the satsang and whatnot. All that that we discuss in these sessions. Go through that and somehow motivate yourself to be available every week. But good that you come. Ye tap hai. Once you are ready to do tapa, swadhyaya happens. Because then comes the real occasion, real opportunity that you can observe yourself. What is happening? Okay. So that tapa, swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhan is the next step. Here, we have arrived at that state of almost that state where from the prajna will develop. And do you think any of the sutras are worth discussing any further? Because they are all about something about which we don't know. As if we are kindergarten student and some PhD thesis is being read in front of us. Only because we know the words, it doesn't mean anything. And because in this language, whatever we understand of it, they will not understand. Exactly. Those people who discuss such things through experience, their language may have same words, but the different meanings. For example, computer experts are discussing, hardware experts are talking about me. माउस नहीं मिल रहा इधर किंडरगार्टन का बच्चा सोच रहा है इधर माउस ही अभी तो गया अंदर क्यों नहीं मिल रहा है. So all that happens, right? Bit and byte. So using byte, I like it. I like that mango bite. This is all. So for us, it may be different experience altogether. Going through the same words, not revealing anything. The next sutra, where whatever is being discussed is about the same statement which I have discussed over time. Just read it and it will be clear. Let us read that. Next sutra. I have discussed everything about that sutra. So it says, śruta-anumāna-prajñā. Śruta-anumāna. Shruta means heard. Heard means Vedas are listened to. As I said, they are not read. That is why they are called Shruti. Shruta means Shabda Praman. You hear it. You listen it. Coming from the masters, coming from the great sages, coming from the scriptures. They are heard. Shruta. And then based on that, Anuman. I did talk about it. Right? Anuman. You make your inferences after doing manana, etc. So, these śruta-anumāna-prajñābhyām. The intuitive wisdom is prajna, which is different. Why? It is saying anya-viṣayā, viśeṣa-arthatvāt. So there are two ways of gathering knowledge. One is through shruta and anuman. You understood? We discussed in detail. You hear it, you just inference it out. With the limited vision that we have, we are inferencing out how the universe is. Right? That is how. We're listening to the discussion of the people talking about some mouse and we are inferencing the mouse was roaming around the room. Why are they talking about mouse? Right? They're talking of bite, I like mango bite. Right? Something like that. Anuman, as much as capacity we have. But even if it's our subject matter, we know even then, we know means we don't have an experience yet. We just know in words. And such words means only knowledge in words. Shrut and Anuman both are in words. They are different from Prajna. So what I say? Prajñābhyām-anya-viṣayā, viśeṣa-arthatvāt. Viśeṣa-artha. Viśeṣa means, viśeṣa-arthatvāt means due to, because of. What? Viśeṣata, some uniqueness, some speciality. of prajna. Means, in one sentence, if I try to say, it is being said that intuitive knowledge, Pritambhara prajna, means prajna. The name becomes Pritambhara when it bears the truth. As its development happens, I have also talked about it. As its developments happen, it's intuitive wisdom which passes through many developmental phases, but when it matures, it becomes Ritambhara. Ritambhara Tatra Prajna. Right? You begin with the Vaisharadhya and then you as go on, Abhyas, along with Vairagya, then it arrives at it culminates to that state where it bears only truth. Then it is known as Ritambhara. Qualifies to be. For example, a girl is a girl, but girl in a nascent stage of 2 years is a girl, not a girl, really not a girl. She qualifies when she becomes Rajaswala, then she is girl, right? Then she is a woman. Before that, it's okay. No difference between a boy and girl, right? In the same way, Pragya continues to develop, but as it matures, as it becomes filled with truth, then it is called Ritambhara. So below 7 years or whatever age, the puberty before, everybody is a kid. Beyond that, you are the girl or boy. You understand that way? So the same way, its intuitive wisdom continues to grow and keeps on refining itself, developing itself. And there comes a time when it perceives the truth as it is. That's called Ritambhara. Truth of everything. Okay. So here it is said, because that intuitive wisdom, which is referred to as Ritambhara in the previous sutra, contains the essence of the unique. What is unique? It has a different scope than it has a different scope. Unique means what? The truth, the only one. You see, what is unique in this world? Only one thing. That self is unique. Everything else is composition of three. Either we call it sattva rajatama or we can call it electron, proton, neutron. Other than self, everything is mix of three. Only self is unique. You understand what it means? The scope of that is different. It's that unique truth that we are, that consciousness, that chaitanyam that we are, that purusha that we are. The scope of prajna is that as well. I'm not saying not other thing, but that's the primary scope. What are you developing it for? To know about whether there is life on Mars or there is life on any other planet or in our galaxy? No. Leave it to scientists. We are discovering our true self, the truth of it, the substratum on which this reality reflects itself. So, of course, its scope is different. We would not want to use pragya for that purpose. We can and we do at times. That does not matter. But the primary scope is unique. Unique is the self. So, the scope of this pragya is unique, whereas the subject, the scope of other pragya or wisdom or knowledge that we gain through the sensory organs is different. Why? Because here there is some speciality, viśeṣa-arthatvāt. Uniqueness of what? Of Ritambhara. Means Ritambhara is a unique state. It perceives, it is capable of perceiving something which is unique, unmatched, completely different from whatever experience the world has through our organs, mind, etc., whatever experience we can have. It's not that. Ritambhara also perceives something unique. That's the truth. Truth of self, truth of everything. When you know the truth of everything, then only you would know. Essentially, I am seeing the dance of sattva, rajas, and tamas. That's the truth of it. Or else you'll say, nahi, nahi, nahi. ये तो platinum है, ये gold है, ये silver है. So when you see the truth of it, then only, while recognizing the utility factor of everything, you understand it's all utility based. Some combinations of electron, proton, and neutron is called dirt, and some combination of electron, proton is being referred as gold and platinum. So, which one will come to use in whatever purpose I will use? But I have no attachment. Ultimately, it's a right? So, in the same way, it happens. You may like a particular color on your screensaver. Let's say I give you a choice that you can select any single color screensaver on your laptop. You may say, I like this, I like that. I'll say, okay, go ahead. You may choose any because your eyes can detect almost 7 billion colors. So you can choose any. 7 billion colors you can differentiate if you are not colorblind. 1 billion anyways. So out of 1 billion color shades, you can choose any. And you say, this one, I will choose as my screensaver. Okay, go ahead, choose it. Any one of you choose any color. Ultimately, we will say, I can generate it using RGB. 3 colors. CY, you people must be having some information, some knowledge about it, how colors are generated over TV screens and over printed materials. 3 colors, only 3 basic colors it has to use, and it will be able to give you any color. Which means what? You may have a raga for any color. You are struggling to choose out of a billion, but the one who knows the reality of it is लगा लो दिमाग जितना भी लगाना. I have to use only 3 colors to create your experience. Understood what it means? This is so much liberation. So much liberating this thought is. In the same world, this world, if we look at it, this is also threefold. Either raga or dvesha or absence of it. There are 3 operatives. Anything, any experience of your world, it is impacting you, influencing you, doing something good or bad to you, giving you ugly experience, pleasant experience, it is based on 3. The world has 3 possibilities. Raga, dvesh, vairagya. Baat khatam. Raga, dvesh, dispassion. Like, dislike, dispassion. These are the 3 tonalities of our mind. And we must know which one to use in what potency, what in this world. All are needed. No. I like venomous snakes. I like them to sleep with me. Can you do so? You can't. I like cow dung because it's very healthy. So I like to sleep on it. Will you do that? No. So in the same way, I like milk. It's a very sattvic thing. ठीक है ना, ब्रेकफास्ट लंच डिनर मिल्की मिल्क लो, फिर बाकी चीज भूल जाओ. It will become very sattvic. No, that is not the way. We must know when to use what. That keeps us going, keeps our systems working, and keeps our functionalities intact. Raga, dvesha, vairagya. Money, no, I don't like money. Who doesn't like money? This is need, basic necessity. Life cannot run without money. But raga, I will not. Dvesh also doesn't work. Rag, if you develop for money, problem. Dvesh, you develop, problem. Which means right amount of it. And vairagya. Correct? Na? So you can't say that I can't use this, I can't use that. Dvesha is bad, raga is good, raga is bad, desha is... No, nothing like that. You must know to use these 3 in the right proportion while you are operating in this world. Again, I'm telling, There's a multiplicity of the world I'm talking about. But when you move towards self, only one, Vairagya works. Vairagya is only capable of taking you inside, none other. In the same way, if you want to understand from the perspective of Prakriti, three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, utilize them. Everything is mix of three. Three means not guna as a property. As I told you, gunas are not properties of or characteristic of any subject matter. They are the material themselves. Okay? Like electron, proton, neutron. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are the constituent material through which everything else comes into existence, including your intellect. Okay? Including your mind, including your ego, sense organs, not the physical ones. The physical ones are the Pancha Mahabhutas. The eyes are not the eyes. The eyes behind the eyes are the Jnanendriya. That is made up of three gunas only. So it's a play of three. The world is play of three. You want to move inside? Discard all the three. Then only you will be arriving at the destination that you are. Understood? From the temperament side, I don't have any raga for anything, but I don't have dvesha for anything. I use a raga dvesha in this world, fully knowing, only supporting my peace of mind and not trying to disturb anybody's peace of mind. If they get disturbed, it's okay, no problem. I don't have control on them. However, I don't try intentionally to disturb anybody's peace of mind. That's the way to operate in this world. But the prime requirement is, the prime necessity of mine is my peace of mind. The secondary is not trying to disturb anybody's peace of mind. Trying not to. But if it is disturb ours, no. That's the practical aspect of it. However, without wisdom, that you would not know what to apply where. You say, I have taken a decision, I'm not disturbing anybody, but I have taken a decision like that. But maybe a better decision would have been possible. Correct? Maybe applying some vidya would have solved the problem. You actually need not take any action at all, maybe. So many things are possible. And therefore, in this world, don't take this as a rule that today Acharya Ji told that yes, raga, dvesha and vairagya is the thing and I will start applying it. You won't. Now the whole list of vidya you need to apply, not the three. I'm just summarizing it, just to give you an understanding that the domain of multiplicity is ultimately the play of three gunas. Even these three gunas are in the domain of buddhi. But when it comes to real experience, it is in the state of prajna. You can't perceive it through intellect. Your buddhi can never give you the experience of three gunas. Your buddhi can never give an experience of pancha mahabhutas. Your buddhi can never give an experience of what the mind is. It can never take you to the experience of ego. You understand? Nothing you can know. You would never even know what is karmendriya and jnanendriya. You would never understand what tanmatras are. All the subtle things which are being talked about in philosophy, they are not subject matter of the intellect which we train using the impulses coming from your sensory organs and educating and tuning and honing the skills of your normal intellect. From intellect, you have to move to prajna. And therefore, prajna is about anything subtle reaching to what? The unique, which is self, Purusha. So, domain of prajna is subtle, starting from Pancha Mahabhutas, which we don't see, by the way. Don't think that water is water. Water, there is the play of electron, proton, and neutron. Don't talk about it. That's not water. Air is again the three, not water. So many gases mixed. Everything has some space, some energy, some heat, some. You understand or not? An atom. It has an absolute heat content. Anything in this world, Even scientists understand that anything in this world has the heat content, means energy content. Anything. And they have arrived at a number, they say minus 273 degree centigrade, which is 0 Kelvin, is that state where the energies come to zero. But no, it is not zero. Where will you take it? It will be somewhere. It's only waiting like a sponge which is squeezed. Yes or no? If at all scientists are to be believed. Yet, any matter which is even at 0 Kelvin has its potential. Still it has heat. It has energy. Spanda, still there. They say no, every spanda stops. If it stops, it ceases. Then is it possible for that to regain? No, it cannot. If it has died, the spanda has died, it will never revive. And therefore, spanda never dies. Because they are observing only gross movement, they are not concerned with the subtle, and therefore they can declare that the spandas are dead. No vibration. And we should be always cognizant of all these things. That while we are operating in this world, we'll have to rely on only sensory perceptions and the wisdom or intellect that we have gathered using that. Along with, of course, whatever intuitive wisdom comes, if at all it starts coming. Got it? So let's close it today. Let's pray and then we'll leave. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shiva.